Isn't it over the weekend we picked that out? Senate Foreign Relations Committee is going to hold hearings on whether the U.S. Should use military force against Syria. Joining us now from his home state of Wisconsin, Senator Ron Johnson, a member of the Foreign Relations Committee. Senator, thanks for joining us today. Do you don't know? Is that true? You don't know which way you're going to vote?
No, Joe, there are so many unanswered questions that we need to get to the bottom of. So these, the hearing today will be incredibly important. Tomorrow we'll have a secure briefing. But I mean, my question is really, what is the goal? What are the specific objectives? What are the strategies to achieve those goals? What is our long-term commitment then? I mean, what are the repercussions of action going to be? Are we prepared for those? Do we have the capabilities to address those repercussions? There are a lot of unanswered questions, and I'm glad to hear the debate finally occurring in this country about what we need to do with Syria, because one of the things that has concerned me is the real rationale, from my standpoint, the real national security interest is the fact that we have chemical weapon stockpiles in Syria. We have rebels that have been infiltrated by elements of al-Qaeda. What happens if those chemical weapons fall in those hands? So to me, that's the real key. I mean, that's the national security interest, and it doesn't seem like the administration is even talking about that.
So you want a clear objective. Is there a clear objective case that could be made in your view where it would have you support it, or are you suspect that there's something that could convince you? It sounds like you're not going to vote for it.
No, I wish the president would have been making the case over the last 2.5 years of what a serious situation Syria is. I mean, we've seen 100,000 Syrians slaughtered. I've heard now reports up to 2 million refugees that are, flowing over the borders and destabilizing states like Jordan and Lebanon. I mean, this is not only a humanitarian crisis, but again, getting back to the point that there are huge chemical weapon stockpiles. These things are a direct national security threat to the United States if they fall in the wrong hands. So this has been a rolling disaster for a couple of years. We are coming to the table pretty late, and as a result, our options have been severely limited. There were never any good options. I don't envy anybody having to deal with these very complex and difficult issues, but we're even in a worse position today. I want to make sure that we're not in a worse position tomorrow if we carry out some actions that aren't very well thought out and that we don't plan on what happens after we act.
Senator, what do you think the repercussions are if we don't act, to the credibility of the country, to the credibility of the president?
Right. I'm highly concerned. I think this president, by not leading, has really backed America into a corner. So, if in the end he gets approval by Congress, it'll probably be because of that I think Congress will act responsibility, make sure that America doesn't lose credibility. But again, I am hoping that through these hearings, through this discussion with the American people, the president can make a strong case and that we can get America behind him and behind the actions that, quite honestly, nobody wants to take. I mean, we prefer not having to be involved here, but America is the world's superpower. If we don't lead, very bad things happen. This world becomes a far more dangerous place. So that's just a reality that I think we all have to grapple with.
Senator, do you think the president made the right decision in putting it to Congress?
Yeah, he does.
Well, at the point in time, he dithered. He didn't act decisively right off the bat. So, based on, with all the leaks, with all the discussion going on, I didn't see any reason for real quick action. And again, because he has not made the case yet to the American public, he'll be in a far stronger position if he makes the case and convinces the American public and Congress.
Senator, you can't make this stuff up. I mean, what a difference a war makes in terms of Iraq, because we now have President Hollande in France is now in trouble domestically because he's ready to go without approval from Parliament.
Right.
And he doesn't have, I mean, can you believe that France is ready to go? Think of Iraq. Now France is ready to go and we're not. I mean, this is rife with so many weird coincidences and ironies that
it's a lack of leadership during this administration. And a real key problem is, you mentioned Iraq, the fact that we did not negotiate a status of force agreement so that we had some stabilizing presence there so we could stop the Iranian overflights that have been supplying Syria. That's been the problem. I mean, Iran is supplying Syria. We've got our reset with Russia has been a failure. They've been supporting Syria. We've got some really tough problems.
Senator, if we were worried about Iraq,
America's got to lead.
Yeah, if we were worried about Iraq and WMDs getting into the hands of terrorists, I mean, the terrorists weren't even around with it. Now they're right there, and if we do something now, it might happen at the stockpiles that we know are there because we just saw evidence of them, and they could go right. I mean, it's just so bizarre. Anyway, Senator, we got to run. I don't envy anyone.
Bad options.
I don't want anyone in. It's good to be a part of the media to just to talk and where nothing we. But either the president or members of Congress, really, and the rest of the world, it's a very, very difficult thing to figure out. Anyway, thanks, Senator.